Welcome, beautiful soul angels, Avengers. Now, Avengers, I'm shuffling cards. Welcome. There's so much to say, you guys. So, welcome to my channel. If you've never been here before, I am the magical medium. I provide spiritual guidance. I'm a channel, I'm a medium between all worlds, literally all worlds. I finally came to understand working with the dragons on the dragon path in the last few weeks. I started to understand like what's happening and why I'm here, and I am an interdimensional traveler, and I have literally been to, I believe, all the dimensions that are present in this world and in this galaxy for sure. But I also talk to energies and entities from, I know, I don't know how to explain it, from the beginning. So this reading came to be because I've been sitting with these high energies, these high spirits for the last several days, and I kind of feel like the dragons were kind of like my sensei, so to speak. Like I've worked with, I go through all of my decks right now, right? Like from the witches to the fairies to the unicorns to the elves to the gnomes, to the angels to the gods and goddesses. I mean, so much, right? But I feel like the dragons, like, they just woke something up inside of me. And a lot of you know I have a dragon tattoo on my arm. I'm all about the dragons. They're very powerful creatures. I'm only pausing for a second because I feel like I heard a car door, and I know that no one's here right now, so I may have to pause. My partner may have come home. Anyway, sorry about that. Hold on. Okay, thank you for your patience. Whew. Yes. Anyway, someday I won't live here and won't live amongst this chaos, but also I feel like, it's really strengthened me as an empath. Like it's really taught me coping skills and how to work with cannabis to benefit me, but not put me in like a spiral place. There's just so much, there's a lot of healing that's going on. And speaking of that, I'm going to segue to the title, which you've already seen, which is You've Got the Love, Healing Earth. And You've Got the Love was, I was listening as I was setting this up. I said to Spirit, whatever, the first song is for this reading will be the title. And I knew it was going to be love because this reading's been coming to me for like, I think over 24 hours. I've been wanting to do this reading, and I really thought it was a one-off, like when we did this kind of love and relationship reading in February, I thought it was just, because it's the month of love, blah, blah, blah. But then I started to realize, I'm like, no, I have a feeling this may be a regular thing, but as of right now, it's only because it's 2 months in a row I say that, but it may not, everything changes when it needs to. So right when I heard that, I was like, I mean, I don't, you know what I mean? It's just like, it's too perfect because she's like, you've got the love, right? And I'm gonna put the she's saying you've got the love that I need, right? And then that was the first song, and then the last song right before this started was Healing Earth by Anugama, I believe it's called. So I'm gonna put both links. I always say check in the description box underneath the timestamps. I put little Easter eggs. I always have to throw a shout out to my birthday sister, because if I don't, then it makes me sound like I'm stealing from her and she knows how I feel. Although at this point, I probably don't. But you know what I'm saying. If you know Taylor Swift, she talks about her Easter eggs, and she is my birthday sister. We're both December 13th. So always look in the description box, because during the readings we talk about stuff, and Spirit will pull me to put links or a reminder for you below. Most of it's for you to look up and research on your own. But these two songs I feel like are really beautiful, because one of them's like kind of like a, she's like, you've got the love, you got the love, right? She's dancing around, such a dancing song. And then like Healing Earth is like, ooh, it's like, it sounds very, I wouldn't even say, I would just say indigenous. I'll just say indigenous because it feels like it comes from many cultures, the music. But it was like really calming, really peaceful. And I thought, isn't that interesting? Because that's how love is. You know, when I was growing up, I used to run to look at the newspaper because they had the little love is, and it was this cute little couple, and it was like these little words of like, you know, love is, and then it's like patience, and then you see like the one person like waiting for the other person, you know, and it was just these little blurbs, and I looked forward to them. They were, if you, by the way, if you know what I'm talking about, please comment below. If you have a favorite love is, please tell me. I really would encourage you guys to start commenting more below. I love your stories. Keep telling me about them. Thank you, B, for sharing. I believe your name was B. There's so many of you. I mean, I feel like I could be like in Romper Room and call your names out, but thank you so much for commenting and participating, because it helps starting conversations or furthering conversations that we're having. And if you found yourself on this channel, welcome. And to those who have been with us, thank you. You know, thank you anyway. Just the gratitude that I feel for you guys, the love that I feel for you guys is just so immense. And you have all taught me so much. So many of you I've worked with one-on-one. That's why we're here. And so I thank you. You know, you've only made me a stronger light worker and spirit warrior. So I thank you, and you honor me with your gifts. So many of you on here are so powerful. You're some of the most powerful beings I've ever come across, and I've traveled far and wide and moved many times and lived in many places. And man, if you are here and you're subscribed here, you are powerful and you're beautiful and you have something to say, you have something to do, you're magnificent. So what I got from this little puzzle of the two songs was, you've got the love, ... healing earth. Like, you've got the love to heal this earth. You have it in you. It's part of who you are. Even if you're a grunt, one of the spirit guides, I love them. They're so cute the way they said it. They're so, I don't know where they come from, like languaging or time, you know, because they're like, you know, one of you are a little, you know, or some of you are a little bit of a grunt. I heard one, and when they say grunt, they mean like, you can't help, it's like you can't help but come here, but maybe normally you're kind of like a brat, or like you're kind of like or like I know everything, or you know what I mean. It's like it could be several of you. I mean, there's just so much energy that I'm feeling from this, but Spirit's saying, but deep down you're just a big old softie, and you know that you are, and you know that you love love is part of who you are. I mean, we are all here together. If you're watching this reading right now, you have so much love inside of you. Something is calling to you. Or it could be the opposite, where you're missing love. You're feeling lack of love for yourself, for others. Maybe you're empaths who've just been fucked with so much that your empathy has just run so low that you're like, fuck off. But you're trying to find that light because you know that's who you are. You're a love light energy. You're a live light being. Some of you are very fairy, sprite-like, gnomes, unicorns, dragons. You know, think about it. The most powerful healers, or the protagonists in the story, the most powerful ones are the ones who love the hardest. But love comes in many forms. It's not just relationships, right? It's just a state of being. You know, even looking at this, English might not be your first language. So to you, those are just a bunch of squiggly lines in front of you. It doesn't mean anything. But now when you look at it, it will always, that's what love is. And you know that. You're like, wow, that's what love is. That's what love looks like. You know? I mean, I don't even buy things like this. I was in the store, and the way it all happened was like so crazy because it was so far away from home. And I mean, it's really heavy. It's metal. It's gold. It's just something I just wouldn't, I have never felt the need to do that, at least that I can remember. Maybe I did in like my other lives, you know, or like even like 20 years ago, but like in my most recent adult, I'm 50 years old now, I just have not felt the need to have words or things. If anything, I like calming energies or calming visuals in front of me. But man, this wanted to come. It was just like, it was even funny too, because I got in the car and I was like showing my partner, I'm like, look what Spirit had me by. We like laughed about it. And not because we were dicks that we didn't believe in love, or that we would judge anyone who has it. It was just like, it was like so far outside of our, you know, because we live in a tiny home, and like, you know, in fact, that's actually a really good point, because when we first moved in here, I would have certain things, and he was like, man, it's such a small space. He's like, can we take down some of this stuff? And I was like, yeah, you know. So it's interesting, right? So whatever it is for you, I don't want to tag off into, you know, another story and tangent, but I will say this. Love is universal. It is what created us. It is what we are. And it comes in more forms than we could possibly understand in this human existence. So they are challenging us and asking us to please come forward, show our love. Love unite. Let's not be afraid to show our love. I tried so hard to show love to certain people, and the feedback that I got was negative. So I just stopped trying. After a while, I was like, I'm not going to try anymore. I only want to be with someone who wants to receive my love. I only want friends and family, and, family we make for ourselves, right? It doesn't have to be your blood and bone. But I was like, I only want people around me that want the love. Because even if you are in the grunt, right, and you're like, deep down, I know you want it. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why you're still in this tribe. But there are those people that will make fun of you for loving, for hugging, for saying, hey, you look great today. For looking at someone, you're in the store, you know what I'm talking about. You've done it. If you're in this tribe, I would say almost 100% every one of you have done this at least once. Many of you all the time, that's what you do. I love you, fairies. But you are out there with that love, putting it out into the universe because you know that they need it, right? You're walking down the street, you see somebody, maybe they're wiping away a tear. You make eye contact and you smile and you're like, have a great day, and they're like, oh, thank you. Those ones that turn around and all of a sudden they tell you their life story, but you were there for them that day. It's making me emotional. I love you guys, right? I do that too. Because that's what makes the world go round. Because you don't know whose life you can save that day. That person might have been going home to kill themselves. And it wasn't time. And you were that angel that was inserted in that moment, in that life. That was such a Moira moment. Inserted. There's an energy that I channel. I call her Moira because she reminds me of Moira. And if you need a good laugh, watch Schitts Creek. And if you have seen it already, I don't care. Watch all of them, all the seasons together, like over a weekend, and just like close the world out, turn your phone off, and laugh, because you realize, you see how love grows, and that it's not about the material things, and it's not about what people give us and what we give them in the material world. Love is free, and it's wonderful, and it's the peace and the love in our hearts right now that is going to stop these wars. Keep going. Oh, I'm channeling this one energy. She's so beautiful, and she's saying, keep going, keep fighting. Don't give up. Don't give up. Don't give up. It's okay to be vulnerable. You hear me? It's okay to be vulnerable. Because that's what the world needs now, right? What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. Yeah. I'll find a link to that as well. Oh, I'm so emotional, Spirit. And when I looked down, it was 1321. So that is our angel number today, is 1321. I love you so much, beautiful souls. You're not alone. You are never alone. They are with us. I wish I could. Maybe you can. I'm going to put it into you, Spirit. Oh, don't hold back. Don't hold back. I feel your walls. Tear them down. Tear them down with me today, right now. Let them melt. Let them melt. Cry. We're at the end of Pisces season. Cry. Even now, I'm like, I'm holding it back, but I'm only holding it back because I'm like trying to keep it together, but you keep crying, because it's good. Pause this and have yourself a good cry for a minute. Put on a song that makes you cry. Because listen, we're going to talk today. We're going to talk shop. So when I looked down, it's 1419, and then it was 1421, and 14 just made me think of Valentine's Day. So listen, we're pulling cards today from the Island Time Wellness. Okay? I started shuffling, and then I stopped, but this one would not let go of my hand. So this is going to be pile number 1. So we're going to start here at 1443. This is pile number 1. Oh, we've never done it well, maybe we have. Maybe a few times. Okay, listen. So this is pile number 1. They're telling me to go this way. Okay. Pile number 1 is the coffee cup. meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, friendship. Okay, so we're going to pull as many piles as Spirit tells me to, okay? So let's see. So that's pile number 1. Pile number 2, Spirit, pile number 2. Okay, so we're talking about you've got the love. And how can pile number 1? So pile number 1, that's how you can help, right? In terms of the love is pile number 1. And then this one card just shot out. And I'm saying this is, ooh, boy, number 2. Mirror. Oh, you guys. So mirror, mirror on the wall. Pile 2, I'm not going to lie. This is going to be heavy, but if you know you need the medicine, go to it. And it says mirroring each other, self-image, relationships, reflect our wounds, introspection. So if you've got relationship stuff going on, that's your pile number 2. You know, that's all they're saying right now. So we're going to keep going. Let's see, is there a pile number 3? Is there a pile number 3? Is there a pile number 3? Ooh, Spirit. I need my smelling salts. Mama needs a smelling salt. Ooh, the chase. Interesting. Ooh, the chaser. The chaser of love. Ooh, this is interesting. So this says, chaser in codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. If that's hitting home, you know that's you. If that's hitting home, that's you. But, you know, like we've always said, if it doesn't resonate, it's not your medicine. And maybe you are drawn to more than one pile, maybe every pile. And that's okay, because that's what these love readings are about. These are messages from all of the entities from all over the universe talking to us. Ooh, okay, so let's see. Do you want me to... Hold on. Okay. So, love call. Who's the drunk dialer here? Ha 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 ha. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. Now, I don't know if this is you or them, but I literally heard drunk dialer. However, it didn't feel aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't feel aggressive like they're hurtful or a bad person. It didn't feel like that. In fact, it felt kind of like, you know, it could be playful. Someone who's really playful. Okay, number 4. And last but not least, we have number 5. These two came out together. I thought they were together. So it could be that maybe you're drawn to 4 and 5. So number 5, the golden mirror. Self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Okay. If that resonates with you, that's pile number 5. Okay, so these are our piles. I'm going to go in a little bit closer here. Let me just back it up. Back it up. Okay. What was that one? The golden what? I forgot already. Isn't that funny? The golden mirror. Okay. Woo! Okay. You guys, come on. Did you see what I just saw? We've got 2 mirrors. So pile number 2 and pile number 5. That is very interesting. So whichever one you're drawn to, maybe it's all of them. Yeah. Thank you so much. I love you guys so much as usual. All of my stuff is in the description box below with the timestamps if you would like to contribute to this work on this channel. Thank you so much in advance. And for those of you who have been contributing, thank you so much. And yeah, so I will see you at your pile. You have, oh, thank you. Spirit was really just niggling my brain again. I'm like, okay. They wanted me to also throw this out there that I had the wrong links on things. And thank you to Jessica. With respect, I call you Jessica too, because we already have a Jessica in our tribe. And now we have another Jessica. And we have a lot of new tribe members. So thank you so much for being here. But they pointed out and helped me realize that I had the wrong links in my about section. So if you were trying to donate or if you were trying to email me, I had the wrong links in my about section. You know, this is what I do. I'm not super tech savvy. I don't have an assistant. I do everything myself. So with that being said, now everything in the about section in the tabs of, you know, above the readings there, it's, in that, when you click the about section at the bottom and the links, they're there. But I also put them in the description box below. But I thought I had one for my email, but it was wrong. It was wrong. So it's just the magicalmedium@gmail.com if you'd like to book a one-on-one session with me and Spirit. Okay. So, Until then, enough of that jazz. I will see you at your pile. All of the information's in the description box below, and I'll see you at your pile. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, pile number 1. So, you chose the coffee cup. And it's interesting, this is a rose quartz little bowl that I use for candles. One of our tribe members gave us. Thank you, Anna. But it really wanted to come in, and I didn't connect it because I hadn't pulled the cards first. And I thought, oh yeah, because we're talking about love, heart chakra, you know what I mean? So I was like, but now I get it, because I kind of feel like this is you guys. Like this is like your little, coffee cup. So I'm going to bring it closer so you can see the words on there, because this is your message. So, meeting and conversing, savoring the moment, feeling uplifted, and friendship. I almost feel like this one wanted to go into the dark. And my throat chakra was like, even starting this reading was hard, because interestingly enough, when I pulled the card, I felt like this kind of lightweight feeling. When I looked down, it was 2112. So if you're into angel numbers, you can look that up on your own. 2112. There's a specific message there with this reading. But I actually feel like we almost even want to put you over here, front and center. But we got your little coffee cup in the back. So I'm just feeling this kind of tug of war energy. Also, there's a cute little robin bird outside my energy, and robins are a symbol for Jesus. You can look that up if you want. Look up Jesus in the bird world or robin bird. Look up robin bird spirit medicine. That's what spirit wants me to tell you. Look up robin bird spirit medicine. Also, I'm having a really, really hard time focusing, which isn't normal for me. I'm actually pretty laser focused, especially when I'm doing readings, especially with details. But with you guys, I feel like it's almost like my hand's going over my mouth. Like, ooh, when I look down, it was 2212. Like you don't want me to say anything. Also, I'm feeling like the number 7 is big for you guys. Right before I started this, my phone said 77%. And so there was just this, even now when I look down, I was like, okay, so there's something going on with 7. So it could be with you. It could be with somebody else. The interesting thing is, because this is what I got from the card, okay? So set that aside. Obviously it's part of, medicine. It may not be for all of you. Maybe it's just for some of you. But what I got from the very first thing was meeting and conversing, like, a coffee house, meeting with your friends, having a good time, going to your local, whatever, watering hole, having a nice beverage while you're watching a band or poetry or something. And it said savoring the moment. And I was like, oh yeah, savoring the moment, where you're just like, oh, I feel so blessed. I have the best life ever. And then it said feeling uplifted in friendship. And I thought, oh, you're like the best. Like, you're the person I want to hang out with. But I feel like maybe that's how you normally are, and you haven't been putting yourself out there. And Spirit is saying that you benefit from those meetings and conversations just as much as the other person. So, I've been having that recently, where even if I don't want to, if I'm out in public and Spirit says, go talk to that person or go say this or whatever, I'm like, okay, and it's been helping me kind of step outside of my comfort zone again. Also, if you haven't watched I'll put it in the description below. If you didn't watch the first quarter moon on what am I willing to change, the taking action, I highly recommend you go and watch that reading, because the angel number for that one was 1222. So the fact that Spirit threw out those, you know what I mean? Like, then those numbers, it was like 2s and 1s, and then all of a sudden, like, they threw my eyes down to my calendar and it went right to that. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I was like, the first quarter moon reading was 1222 was the angel number. So obviously there's something there for you. If you've already watched it, maybe you're meant to go look up that angel number 1222. And also, just because they look like the same, they will be translated differently when you put them in to Google. You know what I mean? Like, because we all work from our own level of consciousness. So whoever's speaking to you through those angel numbers, it may not be your medicine. If it doesn't resonate, go look for another one. But you have to remember that they're just interpreting and downloading and channeling just like I am, but we are all different individuals, so we are going to interpret and channel and download differently. Okay, so and also I'm feeling like there's like this very need to control, like this kind of meticulous energy that spirit would like you to come from with love, because it's almost like it's ruining your friendships, or maybe even it's just ruining your relationship with yourself. This meticulous, like, have to be perfect, have to control everything, have to, it's, and I'm hearing this have to, this isn't my languaging. This is what's going through. So it's like some of you are going through with this languaging, 25, 28 angel number. When I call it numbers, if I spit them out, if it resonates, write it down. I'm just channeling, so I can't keep, stopping. But do you hear what I'm saying? It's like, this is the energy that I'm getting from spirit, and also I feel like spirit saying this is, like when we have like that grandmother energy that wants to give us the tough love, right? And she's like, let's have a cup of coffee or anything, I watch a lot of British movies and television series and stuff like that over there. My heritage is from the British Isles, so I'm really drawn to it, and my family were tea people, and so anyway, long story short, that's what I feel like, where they're like, would you like a cuppa? Would you like to come in for a cuppa? They're like, and I was married to a Brit. Yeah, that's true, spirit. I forgot about that too. Right. So it's, maybe for somebody it's not coffee, it's tea, if you can handle coffee, that's wonderful. Also, I'm hearing for some of you, coffee's not your friend. If you're an empath and you're sensitive to everything, like you're really energetically sensitive, not all empaths are energetically sensitive. Everybody's like, oh, I'm an empath. It's like, well, there are different levels of empaths. Some of us don't have the same reaction to things as other empaths do, right? So caffeine is not good for you. If you're like, right? You just like can't focus, or you think you're taking it because you're focusing. They're like, no, there are so many other wonderful hot beverages out there. Find yourself a really cool little tea house, or, mushrooms are becoming really big now, like these mushroom beverages that are super good for our minds, our bodies, our souls. There are so many healers coming out of the woodwork from all different directions. So, use that love that you have. You've got the love. You've got it. Don't hold it back. And if you're like, I'm giving it out all the time, but if you're exhausted and you're giving out love, there's something wrong, right? It means that something is missing, right? You can look at an L and an E and maybe come to the conclusion that that spells love, but without OV, right? It's just low. Or V, right? You need the whole picture. I don't know who that message is for, but it came through very strongly like that. Like you need the whole picture, like you're missing something. And if you feel like you're missing something, Spirit's going, aha, we've been trying to tell you that you're missing something. And you know what it is, because if you're exhausted, it's because you're giving it to the wrong people. That means that they're emotional vampires. And it doesn't make somebody a bad person because they're an emotional vampire. I was an emotional vampire. I mean, I can check all the boxes. I was annoying. I was this, I was that, right? As much as people can annoy me and whatever, I could be just as annoying. We have to come clean. So if you need and also reaching out to the friends that do uplift you. The good friends, the really good friends, not the ones that like, I'm going to see if there's any more cards. Not the fun bobbies, right? Like I didn't realize until like really going through my shit, how many people I thought I was quote unquote friends with, that yeah, we were friends and we loved each other and we looked out for each other. But at the same time, I was like their little fun bobby. They just wanted me to like party with them and have fun with them, because I was funny and all this. But I was always drained when I hung out with those people, because I was doing things my body really didn't want and didn't need. There were many times that I can look back on my life where Spirit put certain people in my life to be friends with. And I could have gone that way, meaning like in a more loving, but I was like, oh no, these are my fun friends, my party friends, my childhood friends, And we've been, told to, childhood friends are the best friends, which they are. That's wonderful. But that doesn't, we change and grow and evolve. And sometimes we don't change and grow and evolve at the same place at the same time. So I realized that I was like, man, I needed to get out of the Groundhog Day relationships of my life. And if you have relationships that are not leaving you feeling uplifted, if you feel like your friendships are not, if your frenemies, if your friends are really your frenemies, it's time to let them go. Look at this. Keys on a ring. Many options. Decision, unconventional, string along, and one night stand. Ooh. Okay, so for in relationships, again, yeah, right? Like, are these your real friends or are these your party friends? I'm going to bring in my trusty dusty here. Are these your real friends or your party friends? There's a huge, huge, huge difference. Are these the people that are supporting your growth and who you are as a light worker? Or are these the people that want to hold you back, that actually don't believe in you? Or they do believe in you, but I hate to use these words, but they're jealous. And even if they say they look up to you, if someone is telling you that they're jealous of you, run in the other direction. I'm serious. That's been a big one for me for a long time. And those of you who know me know, like, I don't like hearing that because it means that you're trying to covet somebody else's magic. Right? You're trying to, it sounds bizarre, but you are. It's like an indirect hex. It's like I apologize for this. My normal candles are not available anymore, and I'm just heartbroken. So I've been, while in the midst of looking for a new candle, I have to deal with these horrible candles. Anyway, so with that being said, do you hear what I'm saying? And I feel like each of these are messages for each of you, meaning like, you know what that message means, the keys on a ring. You know what that means to you? You know what many options means to you? Decision, unconventional, meaning like maybe you have an unconventional friendship that other people don't understand. Well, you know what? You don't need them to understand. Maybe you have friends or are dating somebody who your family wouldn't approve of. Who gives a shit? That's their problem. Your family. That's their problem. That's not your problem. That's tough love coming through, because that's love too. Because it's really not. And what they think of you is none of your business. I know that's a hard one to swallow, but it's so true. What other people think of us is none of our business. Who cares? When you wake up in the morning, who do you look at in the mirror? You. This is your journey, your path, your ride, man. You just have fun on this journey. You're not here to please other people. Go out, meet new people, converse with new people, savor the moment too. When you find that person, or I had one recently where I met some new people in a grocery store. We just were like talking and talking and talking, and it's just like, hey, nice to see you, and if we never see each other again or never talk to each other again, it's like, whatever's meant to be will be. But it was just nice to have that moment where it's like, you're not alone. Keep going. Sometimes people are there for a moment. Sometimes they're there for a lifetime. It's different with all of us and different with every relationship. So friendship is really sticking out for me. So even if it is a relationship or a family member, it's like what I'm hearing from Spirit is don't forget to put friendship first. I just had this discussion with my partner last night. We've been laughing and giggling so much lately. We've been going to bed just like, just having great moments. And I said, wow, I'm so grateful for those moments because it reminds us that we're friends first. I said, no matter what, we're always going to be friends first. He's like, that's right. And if you're not friends first with anybody in your life, and a friend is someone you could tell anything to, anything, and they love you anyway. Now, that doesn't mean someone has to stay in your life or you have to stay in theirs, because that's the great thing about unconditional love, right? We don't have to be in each other's lives. We can love each other from afar. That's our greatest gift. Love is an energy. It's an energy, and it's tangible in all forms, in all shapes and sizes. I love you so much, pal number one. I really hope this helped you in any way. All of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, pile number two. If you chose this pile, you chose mirror. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships, reflect our wounds, and introspection. And I cannot help, when I was setting this up, and they had me put like, that's my grandmother's vintage crystal perfume holder. It's real crystal. And just the way they had me set this up, you guys, I could not stop hearing, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? Like I was hearing that, but then also I heard, who killed my sister? So I am hearing a lot of sibling rivalry. I'm also hearing, and sibling rivalry doesn't necessarily have to be your blood and bone family. It could be like coworkers. It could be even like, you know, with your children, you know, maybe you have children. Because everything that happens around us affects us, everything. And we are all mirrors bouncing our shit off of each other. But some of us are bigger mirrors than others. And if you chose pile number two, you know, the title of this reading is, you know, you've got the love, healing earth. So I'm getting like, you have the power to heal this situation. You have the power because you have the love. And so now when people are reflecting off of you and you are reflecting off of them, it is your job. Nay, may I be more abrupt and say duty to insert love into every single solitary situation. And it may be really difficult to do. It may be somebody that you have a really, really difficult time loving. And that sounds so harsh to say, right? But if you have somebody that's in your life, I mean, my mom said this to me many times. She's like, I'm your mother and I love you, but that doesn't mean I have to like you. Right? Oh, I... Oh my God. If those of you who don't know, that's Baba. That's my familiar. Oh my gosh. Did you hear? She was like, yeah. And she was going to jump up. We live in a tiny home, and actually like above our space is where we sleep. And so, but I mean, that was like, did you not just hear her go, yeah? So she doesn't always speak up like that. She's actually really stealthy and quiet. So that was Bubba, you know, and if this is your pile, or excuse me, this is your pile, but if you know Bubba, that's also a shout out. She's like saying, hey, and that's a supportive, yeah, like she loves you. Like, you know, don't let anybody walk all over you. And this could be lovers too. I feel like we're meant to pull another card right now because the mirror card's really powerful. You know, when I started on my journey as a light worker, because obviously if you're on this channel, that's what you are. And you are meant to, you know, bring love and light into the situation. But when I first started working with, she was really my greatest mentor. And she literally explained that to me. That was one of the first things she ever explained to me was, oh, I feel like some of you need that fire back. Spirit's like, give them back their fire. They need that fire in there. Ooh, not on my card though. Ooh, look at that. It's like they want you to see it through a different scope. See how that fire is illuminating blue there right now? I feel like that's a transmission for somebody. So I'm going to leave that there and feel free to kind of be a zombie for a second and just stare at it if you were really drawn to it. You know, but she told me, she said, you know, you're one of the biggest mirrors I've ever met. And she said, and be prepared that people are either going to love you or they're going to hate you. And there's going to be scarcely an energy in between. I was like, wow. She goes, yeah, that's just how effective of a mirror you are. People cannot, they like everything they are, you see. So if you chose this pile, I feel like because my shaman, you know, Layla, because her energy and her stories and her teachings came into this, it's the same for you. You're a big, massive mirror and you're a human bullshit barometer. which means you know when somebody's lying to you. You know when they're telling you the truth. And the fact that this blue came in, I'm feeling a deep Arcturian energy. So either you are Arcturian or you align with the Arcturians, or it could just be that the Arcturians are speaking to you, trying to get you to understand like how powerful and beautiful and wonderful you are. I'm going to move this a little bit. Right? So, if you have that effect on people, that has nothing to do with you. You're just a badass. You know what I mean? I'm kind of going down a little bit because I feel like you guys shrink yourselves down because I feel like there's scarcely anywhere you can go where you can hide, right? Like people are going to find you. And it's because your energy is just so profound and amazing. And Spirit's like, then put that bright light back up. Who cares? If they are hating on you or saying negative things to you, or even if it's like the left-handed compliments, you know what I mean? Oh, you look so good today. Did you lose weight? It's like, before I remember thinking that I thought that was a compliment, but it wasn't until I moved far away from home till I realized like how completely toxic almost everybody around me was. And I didn't realize it because I'd be like, no, they're just trying to be supportive or they're trying to be helpful or if you lost 5 pounds, you can fit in this, like this mental anguish. It's like my mother was obsessed with, her weight and the way she looked, so was my father. They both were, and they were very materialistic and very physically just completely obsessed with their appearance. And so it made me obsessed with my appearance. And it's taken me 50 years to finally love myself. I just realized in the last few days, like how much I really love myself. And that I gained more weight this winter than I wanted to gain, but I was just like loving on myself and like hugging myself and saying thank you for keeping me warm and insulated instead of hating my fat, right? Or hating the fat, even though I did it to myself. But like blaming it on the fat or whatever, blaming it, it's like I'm the one that I could have put that food down. But I was like, no, I'm actually grateful. It's my insulation suit. I live in a really cold, damp climate. I'm miserable when I'm too thin. I need that extra weight on me. So I thanked it. And I said, the weather's turning. I can't wait till I start walking again and eating, less carbs and all that. And then I realized that our bodies and our minds and our souls go through cycles, right? So we have to thank every bit of ourselves and love every bit of ourselves and look in the mirror. Don't be afraid to look in the mirror, Spirit saying. For some of you, it's like you're almost like you're repulsed by your appearance, and Spirit saying, how can you be repulsed by something so beautiful? And either way, you did it to yourself. So it's like love yourself and support yourself, for whatever. Like for myself, I was like, I actually had a really wonderful winter. It was stressful in some ways, but I had a really wonderful winter. Why would I be hard on myself? Like I'm going into spring. It's an extra, like an extra 7 pounds than I normally gain in the winter. And I'm gonna beat myself up. It's like so fucking stupid. By the way, 4313 angel number for those of you who are into that, right? So don't beat yourself up. Love yourself. Reflect on our wounds, right? Because if you're like me, because they're obviously having me share my story with you. So there's somebody in this crowd that's going through, a physical, mental relationship, So relationships reflect our wounds. And what I heard from Spirit was old wounds. So get introspective about it. Don't be obsessed with your self-image, right? And most likely it's because if you're really being hard on yourself, it could be that you saw maybe some celebrity that you like, or maybe there was someone on social media, right? Like, was there somebody that, or maybe you saw a picture of an old friend or something. You're like, wow, they look fabulous. And Spirit's like, who cares? That's where they are. You don't have to be at the same place on the same journey. You're not. The Arcturians are coming in with this loving support, and they're like, please love yourself. We love you so much. Okay, and then the next card is the Sword and the Rose. And it says clarity, truth, revelation, solidarity, force, honor, protection, and power. Ooh, I'm going to actually put this over the mirror because I feel like we know what that is. And I really want to get down and dirty with this card. They're actually having me leave it right there. Okay, so, right? And what does a mirror do? It tells the truth. Especially if you're looking at yourself in the mirror with absolutely like 100, like the sun is shining in the room. It's the, you see every pore on your face, that real natural light. Look at it. Look at yourself. Look at your beautiful self. Oh, so what? You have a new skin tag or a mole or something. Who cares? Maybe your hair doesn't look the way it used to. Maybe there's something about yourself. Also, Spirit's saying change. It's all about change. Having that revelation, right? Because once we seek that clarity and that truth within ourselves, we realize that other outer stuff is, who cares? Because if you look at yourself, like you look the same, right? You just woke up, especially for, those who wear makeup. You wake up, you fresh face, but maybe you got a, little crinkle mark on your face from your pillow. Your hair's disheveled. You're going to the bathroom, you catch yourself in the mirror, you're like, whoa, I look rough this morning, right? But you may also wake up looking the exact same way, but you love yourself. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, good morning, I look awesome, look at me. Because that energy of that loving yourself would uplift your face and you would see beyond all that. And you'd be like, oh my God, look at this cute crinkle on my face. Instead of like, oh my God, I have a crinkle on my face. Because it's all about perception. And once you have that revelation that you are lovable, no matter what you look like, no matter what you do. I wanted to make this reading, perfect. I wanted to have different lighting. And they were like, no, because they're about the messages. I mean, literally this is green because green's all about the heart chakra. So I wanted to put the bright light on it. I mean, you can see if I bring this closer, you can kind of, let me see. Can you see it? I don't know if you can see it. It doesn't matter. And they were just like, no. And I've been learning about control and not having to make everything perfect all the time. That's been a really rough one for me. And then I realized it's because I was surrounded by people who were trying to be perfect. So many of my friends and family, eating disorders, self-loathing. I could go on and on and on. And as an empath, as a human sponge, I was just soaking it all up, sopping it all up. Until I started to get wiser and got older and I started to realize, I'm like, why does that person hate me? I didn't even do anything to them. And my mom would say, no, it's just because you're happy. Some people are miserable and they, misery loves company and they don't want to see you succeed. She's like, that's a horrible fact of life, but it's true. And I didn't want to hear that. Because I was like, no, everybody's loving and full. It's like my lighthearted fairy unicorn spirit just, but then I realized, you know what? We can't heal everybody. So all we can do is be in our own solidarity with ourselves, our own force, honor ourselves. Because as we honor ourselves, we honor others. And the protection and power, listen, because you're a mirror, it's coming back out now because you're a mirror, you have to be really mindful. And when someone's being a dick, I don't care if it's someone it's someone in the store, whatever, if someone's being a dick, just smile and say, I love you. And when you're saying I love you, what you're really saying is, I am rubber, you are glue, whatever bounces off of me sticks to you. Let them deal with their own shit. They don't have a fucking right to come at you. They don't have a right. They don't have a right. It is your God-given right. It is your spirit-given right. Whatever you believe in, goddess-given right. I'm just saying that as a term, but it is your right. It is your divine birthright. Thank you, Spirit. It is your divine birthright on this earth from the Creator to be who you are and not let somebody else's reflective bullshit control who you are. You control your own narrative. But if you're mirroring each other, if you're in a relationship where you're, it's combative, right? Like, look we've got a sword and we've got a rose in that imagery right there. a sword and a rose. And a rose can be as delicate, right? Like if that sword is laser, sharp, if it's super, super, super sharp, if you threw that rose up into the air and it landed on that sword, it would cut right in half. So remember that our words and the way we speak, because swords in the tarot are about communication. So those of you who, if you're having a difficult time communicating, even with yourself or with others, you can have the sharpness of the sword in your tongue, or you can have the gentleness and the loving nature of the rose. And you may even want to research rose spirit medicine and the sword spirit medicine of the tarot, so you can really deeper understand the communication and what rose means. And rose essential oil. I personally, I love the smell of roses when I smell them, but I do not like the rose essential oil, even if it's the most natural. It's just too pungent for me. It gives me a headache, but I do like it. I like it in its subtlety in the flower form. So if you're someone like that, maybe get some real roses and have them around the house for a little while to help you connect to that, to help you connect, and reflect on your old wounds. Have some introspection there. But above all, call in the protection and the power from spirit. And Michael, Michael, we're going to bring in also, the sword is communication. That's the West. Gabriel is communication, water. So if you're a water sign, maybe you're dealing with a water sign. It could be an air sign though too. But the other thing is that Michael, call on Archangel Michael to help you and to with the powerful protection for yourself and for others. But bring in that power to help. Bring in Archangel Michael's energy of fire. He's the, I picture him with like a sword, our protector. You know what I mean? He's a knight. He's an archangel, right? He's like really powerful. So call on Archangel Michael to protect you, but that's also fire. So it could be that you're a fire sign or you're dealing with a fire sign. So you need fire. Fire doesn't fight fire, right? Fire and fire can make it worse, but it just depends on how you're dealing with it. So I hope that helped you in any way. Those are your messages. Beautiful pile number 2. All of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome pile number 3. All I heard was, you're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker, don't you mess around with me. You're a heartbreaker, dream maker, love taker, heartbreaker, right? And she's like, but I also am hearing don't don't mess around with me. So this is very interesting. So if you chose pile number 3, you chose the chaser. And Spirit is asking you, which one are you in this scenario? Are you the chaser? Are you the chasee? Are you the heartbreaker? Or is somebody coming in and breaking your heart over and over and over? Chaser and codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. So what's going on? Why are you afraid to be alone? Why are you afraid to, in fact, I feel like it's almost like you want to cover up love. It's interesting because I feel like you're chasing love, but you won't let love catch you. That's what I'm getting from Spirit. Like, you're the elusive chaser. This is not going to be for all of you, but you won't let love catch you because of the fear of the abandonment issue. Oh, I love you so much. But listen, you need to love harder back. Love harder back. Don't let it tear you down. Maybe you're in seasonal depression right now. Well, you know what? If you're in the Northern Hemisphere, spring's right around the corner. I mean, literally, whenever you watch this, it's timeless. But in real time today, it is Saturday, March 12th, 2022. And for those of you who have to change your clocks, I feel you. Use love in the situation. Moving forward, this next week is going to be really tumultuous because we have the time change. We have the waxing gibbous moon, which is about refining and focus. Passover for those who celebrate that. Then we have St. Patrick's Day for those who celebrate that. And then on the 18th, we have a full moon in Virgo. So, lots of heavy energy. Don't allow yourself to, or I should say, I'm hearing allow yourself to run free over the next week. Don't try and plan it. Don't try and make things happen. And for 1 week, just 1 week of your life, don't chase anything or anyone. Let everything come to you. Some of you, you're chasing things too because it's a controlling mechanism. you know, because if I control X, Y, and Z, or if I do this or that, then, you know, also I'm hearing that you execute, um, how did you say that, Spirit? Um, you elicit forms of behavior between you and other people. And for some of you in the love relationship department, you're eliciting things, and then it's like you've set up this kind of like crime and punishment with them, you know, and you give love, then you withhold love, you give love and you withhold love, and you're like, oh, I love you, you know, but I got to do this, or I got to take care of me, or whatever. But at the same time, it's like there's almost always like this confusing energy that's around this codependent relationship. And it's because for a lot of you, you know, it's over. It's been over for so long, but you just won't look at it. You can't see it because you're not ready. That's okay. When you're ready, you will finally, when you're done chasing your tail, round and round and round, and living in the Groundhog Day. And this is all relationships. This is friends, family, work, whatever it is. Love is love. But if you are, it didn't say chaser. It literally is titled The Chaser, like it's your title. When I was putting my channel together, I was like, oh, I like magical medium. That's cute. They're like, no. I kept hearing no. And I was like, and I kept hearing the magical medium. I'm like, I know, I have it on there. And they were like, no, it was like The Magical Medium. And I was like, oh, I like that. Because I've been like, I was going through a phase where I wasn't sure what was going on. I was chasing this and chasing that. Wasn't feeling right in this name, wasn't connecting with that name. I'm like, who am I? What am I doing? And they're like, it doesn't matter. You're the magical medium. And I was like, whew. And then I started to look at things and how a title sometimes can mean something. So it doesn't just say chaser, it says the chaser, which means that this is like an archetype that you've fallen into, which means you can change it as well. So, you know, as I will always be the magical medium, that's part of my soul DNA. Like I'll always be a medium, I'll always be magic. It's like you don't always have to be the chaser, and you don't always have to run after the chaser archetype yourself. Because for some of you, it's like you're a chaser going after a chaser, and you're like, well, I don't know why we're not getting together, or I don't know why things aren't working out. And Spirit's like, oh, really? You don't know why? They're like, okay, well, let me I'm bringing some more light over. They're like, let me illuminate that for you. Let me put a little more light on this subject. You know why? Because both of you are dealing with abandonment issues. And fear is an ego. It's an ego response. Fear is an ego response. If I do this, they'll love me. If I don't do this, they won't love me. It's an ego response. And once you identify with this ego response, oh, what's going on? It's all over the place. Once you identify, look at this. Oh my goodness, it's like it doesn't want to be there. But once you identify with this ego response, and look at me, because I wanted to uncover up love, because you're not coming at it with love. It's saying on here, our title is You've Got the Love, Healing Earth. If Spirit didn't believe in you, you wouldn't be here. If you weren't as powerful as Spirit knows that you are, you wouldn't be on this channel. You wouldn't be watching this reading right now, hearing about how awesome you are. By the way, I was just going to knock off, there's like this, do you see this little speck of like glitter right there? And they said no, because look, do you see? It's like, chase your dreams instead. That's why they wanted that to fall to get the glitter. Isn't that great? Chase your dreams instead. Look at more blue. Arcturians. Man, we've been getting, see that little blue up in the corner right here? It's like we've been getting these messages. So the Arcturians are coming through. If you've never worked with the Arcturians, I highly recommend that you do. But this is powerful. They want you to recognize how special you are and to keep going after, you know, that, the sparkle. And they know you're tired. I just heard, we know you're tired. Somebody must have said, I'm so tired. And they're like, we know you're tired. They know you're tired. But at the same time, you know, you signed on for this. You're stronger than you know. It's only because you've been in these codependent relationships. Okay, so your mission, should you choose to accept it, is I want you to watch a movie. It is called, let me see. You know what? I'll put it below. It'll be in the recommendations. You know, I always like to put little recommendations in so look in the description box. But it was like a Lifetime movie, but it was so great. It was so great. It was, you know, this relationship and the movies. I don't want to say too much, but just basically how this person really found themselves once they, you know, they were with someone for like 5 years. And then once they get out on their own, after at first they think the breakup's devastating. They want me to tell you this much. At first they think the breakup's devastating, right? But then they start doing all of these things, and all of these things they would have never done. And it's because they finally stopped chasing somebody else's dream and chasing somebody else's story and started living their own. Now, mind you, it's based on another part of a love story that was meant to be, but so that's like another cool thing, but I'll leave that. I don't want to say too much. But, you know, we're not meant to be alone. If we were meant to be alone, we would be. Some people choose to be alone, especially those who work with spirit, right? Some, you know, monks and shamans and whatever, they choose to be alone. But you're not meant to be alone. None of us are meant to be alone on this path unless we choose to. So if you're feeling, you know, and it may be time for some of you to be alone for a little bit. Maybe you do need to be alone so that you can find who you really are. That's basically what the movie was. The moral of the story is they didn't really know who they were until they got away from this person, because they'd been with them for 5 years. They didn't even know who they were anymore. They didn't even know how powerful they were until they realized, holy shit, like, I don't need this person at all. So, oh gosh, I thought we were going to pull another card, but that's it, you guys. Those are all my messages, or all of our messages for you, pile number 3. You get it, you know. You got the love. Also, look at the recommendations. Follow that Florence and the Machine song and dance to that song in spirit, you know, in spirit saying, you've got the love. And when they're saying, you've got the love I need, love yourself. Love yourself fiercely first. And then everything else will fall into place. The fear of abandonment is you telling yourself that you're not enough. That's you telling yourself that you are alone and you don't love yourself, you know, enough to be alone. When Spirit's saying, I gave you all the tools you need to be alone. And when it's time, you'll get back together, you know, with that person if it's meant to be, or you will find a brand new person. And, you know, sometimes we find when we break away from somebody, I remember in my first marriage, you know, I couldn't imagine my life without him. And then once he was gone, I was like, wow, there I am. It's like I forgot about myself because I put too much time and energy into being a good wife and being a good partner, you know, taking care of the house and paying the bills and doing all these, like, you know, it's not for everybody. So, you know, even if you are the chaser or the chasee, stop chasing. Let things come to you. Until next time, you guys, I love you so much. All my information is in the description box below if you'd like to contribute to this channel, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, pile number 4. I'm laughing because I heard love. Love will keep us together. Any old blah, 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 blah. I don't know the words. Totally felt like this. Stop, 'cause I'm thinking of you. Stop. Oh, I love that song. Okay, so your angel number is 1331. Which is also the number 8, and 8 is all about infinity and love. I'm feeling a lot of yummy love from you guys. Like, it just feels gratifying. It feels happy. It feels, and the self-love is feeling good. The self-love is feeling spot on. But I'm also, this is a message from the other side, because right when I looked at it, it says love call, and then it says someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. So this is a little shout out. Oh, we haven't done any pure channeling. So let's see. Grandma Rose, she comes through a lot. So I don't know if this is in someone. Will you please comment if you have a Grandma Rose? Because she comes through so much in our readings. So it could just be an ancestor for us, like looking out for us. Also, if you were drawn to some of the other piles, the Rose came into that. So that's really interesting as well. But that feels so. Grandma Rose, Uncle Peter. Oh, Uncle Peter's really funny. He gives me like a Robin Williams vibe. Like, it could even be that Robin Williams was Uncle Peter in another life to you. Or maybe you just are like, I love Robin Williams. I don't know why. I just have this affinity for him. I feel like Robin Williams is giving us like a loving shout out. Okay, any other ones, Spirit? Aunt Rita. Oh, we spoke with Rita of Cassia in the last reading. That's interesting. And look in the description box below, readings recommendations. If you didn't watch our first quarter moon reading, it was so amazing. It is called What Am I Willing to Change? Take Action. And we work with the Divine Goddess Feminine Energy, which is interesting that they didn't have me do a shout out for International Women's Day, but I think they were just like, it's always Women's Day. You know what I mean? It's like, it's always Women's Day, Men's Day, you know, whatever. It's like, that's a human thing. But yeah, so let's see. Teddy Ruxpin. I don't know what that means to anybody, but Teddy Ruxpin, please, again, always comment below. This feels like a dial-up. Uncle Todd, Dad, Penelope Cruz. I don't know what that means. I'm literally just channeling. These are for, so if you chose this pile, these are people that have passed on or ancestors or, so if it doesn't align with you, it doesn't have to. Sometimes it is something like that. I was like, Teddy Ruxpin, like, wow, like that just was like, that was big when I was a kid and I'm 50. So, that, you know, must be somebody from our group, or maybe Teddy Ruxpin is common and I don't know. Okay, let's see. Anything else, Spirit? Rivers, turtles, grounding, getting grounded. These are messages from the ancestors. I'm seeing tall trees, water, mountains, you know, anything, you know, taking off your shoes and socks, even if it's cold. You know, if it's a nice day, it's nice enough for you to take a walk. It's nice enough for you to take your shoes and your socks off, walk on the earth where it's safe, of course, always where it's safe, far from paths or broken glass or anything like that. You know, take a walk on the sand if you live on the beach. But I'm really, really feeling this deep energy to go into the forest, into the woods. I'm hearing and feeling rushing water. So a lake is nice, but if you can, you know, water that's moving is what they're saying. Also, we're in real time. It is March 12th. So the time change the next week may be a little tumultuous. If it is, they're like saying, take a break, call in sick. You know, just stay in your bubble, stay in your lane. Don't make a lot of plans this week. I'm hearing a lot of sensitive and sending kisses and love and energy from the spirits and the guides as they're sending you a big hug and loving energy. And they're saying, please call out to them this week. Ask them for help. Ask them, you know, to give you that hug when you need it, that little bit of support of love. They're saying, you know, just treat the next week like it's Valentine's Day every day, you know, or basically like life, you know, just treat it like love, love will keep us together. You know, it's that kind of really getting down to the deep nitty gritty, knowing that love really is the answer. Love is the answer. When someone's giving you a tough time, taking those deep breaths, walk away, take a few seconds, even 3 seconds, even taking in one deep breath and closing your eyes and breathing out. Even if they're yelling in your face, you can just be like, and then just say, you know what, I'm going to approach this with love. And even if they're a jerk or they come back at you, and just walk away. Just walk away. Walk away. Walk away. Jeremiah, interesting, cool name. Toby. I'm feeling like, I feel like I heard Maleficent and Felicity at the same time, so I don't know. If you want to watch a good show, you want to binge watch an old show, watch Felicity. Yes, Carrie Russell. So that's a really, I haven't watched it in years, so I don't know anything about any, you know, it's been a long time in terms of like, you know, the storylines and stuff, but they're saying if you want something to binge watch, that's interesting. Okay, maybe you have a connection to that. Maybe Felicity was an old show. This is the first time in quite a while that we're doing some straight ass channeling. Like they won't even let me open my eyes, so it's kind of fun. I have no idea what's going on. Todd keeps coming out, and these could be spirit guides, animal guides, energies. You know, sometimes people will like rack their brain. They're like, I have an Uncle Todd, but I don't see the connection. It could be, you know, it might be something. It could be somebody different. Okay, is that it for now, Spirit? That's it for now. I heard the car go by. Okay, so welcome back. Okay, so we were on a love call with Spirit. That was awesome. I should have been like, hello, we have Spirit on the line here. Okay, so I don't mean to be corny, but that was actually really cute. Okay, so let's see. Any more, do we have any more messages, Spirit, from the deck? Do we have any messages from the deck? Because I'm feeling some profound sadness all of a sudden for some of you. Cry, get it out. I'm hearing from a grandmother energy and a grandpa. Like, I feel like it's a grandpa that, like, looked out for you, whether they raised you or I'm just feeling like they're, like, surrounding you right now. They feel like they're together, though. It doesn't feel like a separate grandmother or grandfather, but it could be. Maybe they were friends, you know, obviously if they were like your parents, like they were close, maybe they both lost their spouses and they were, I don't know, but I just definitely feel like it's a very strange, interesting. Oh, I just heard very strange situation. Okay, interesting. Unique situation, they're saying. So whatever that means, but I'm feeling them really strongly right now. And ooh, coffin, interesting endings. Oh gosh, bless America. Thank you, Spirit. Not the first time I did that today, sadly. Sometimes I get so into it with that, you know, ooh, but isn't it interesting that it burned the coffin card? Interesting. Okay, so that's okay. It's just a thing, right? It's just a thing. So endings bring new beginnings, growth, change, liberation, and transition. Yeah, so it says someone expresses love. So maybe we've got someone coming in here. I'm feeling like since we brought in that mountainous earth energy, could be an earth sign too. Or you could be an earth sign. Oh, when I looked down, it was 11. It was 11, like 1 minute and 11, 1 hour and 11 minutes. And then it was like 11, like 11141. So 1111. So if that means anything to you guys, that's another little shout out from the angels. But yeah, so, for some of you, someone's going to call and literally is going to call you and express their love. And it's a message of love and it's very genuine and they're really, really trying to change. I don't know. I can't tell you this is, this isn't a personal reading. But I believe with every fiber of their being, they really are trying. I think they are really trying to change and they're saying, thinking of you and letting you know. And for some of you, it could be that maybe someone's been on your mind and you're like, should I reach out to them? Should I not reach out to them? That again is between you and them. Spirit saying maybe not call them. Look at the bottom, thinking of you and letting you know, maybe send them a card or a letter, or an email. And if they're like, I tried calling you or texting you, how come you're not responding? Say, I just don't want to communicate through my phone with you right now. This is the best I can do right now. And, and if somebody gets mad at you for where you are on your path, that's between them and them. That has nothing to do with you. And I mean nothing to do with you. It's them not working out their shit yet. And if you're not ready, do not let anyone force you. This is your life. Look at that coffin. R.I.P. means rest in peace, rest in power. It's any way you want to look at it. They're both beautiful sentiments, right? So let it rest in peace. Let it rest in power. Let it be done. Maybe you know that you need to let go of somebody. Because sometimes when we hear somebody's voice and they're like pleading or they're begging, right, then it makes us a little weaker. It makes us a little weaker, as horrible as that sounds. It's true. It does. It puts us in like this kind of state of, especially if you're an empath, not all of you are empaths, but for those of you that are, right, if you hear that person's voice. Ooh, when I looked down, it was 11303. So 1133 too. Look up that angel number as well. It's sometimes somebody can just melt your little heart. And there's nothing worse than somebody bringing animals or children into the situation too, which is completely, manipulation. And Spirit saying, no more, you're done with that. That shit can rest in peace. No more manipulation. It's time for this to end. It's time for a new beginning. And you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. 1333. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. Wow, you're the first pile so far that, I had 2 cards come out. Interesting. So we have the Chaser and then we have Photograph. Interesting. So these are your final messages. Chaser in codependent relationship, fear of abandonment issue. And if you were pulled to that other pile, you may want to go and check it out. Otherwise, it could just be right here. So whatever is, there are no rules. And the Photograph is looking at your photos, missing you, nostalgia, make new memories. You know, sometimes we have to let people go for a little while. My husband and I, in nearly 7 years, have broken up and gotten back together in the double digits. I mean, because we knew that we were meant to be together, but we also needed to be apart. And we both were codependent, and we were chasing, you know, love, but not understanding what love was. And especially if someone's calling you, remember I said at the beginning of this, the drunk dialing, I was like, well, if you watched it, and if you didn't watch the messages from Spirit, I highly recommend you go back and watch it. But, you know, I was like, when we pulled the cards, I was like, I saw the drunk dialer, you know, on the phone. And that's what's happening. Sometimes finally, you know, don't know what you got until it's gone, right? So they could be looking at your photos, they're fucked up, they're missing you, they're feeling nostalgic. But you know what? That doesn't mean they're going to actually change. And you can't keep going back to their shit. You know what I mean? It's time for you to make new memories, whether that's alone or with them. But this is really powerful. No more chasing. You know, let love in, but no more chasing. Any more cards, Spirit? That was so beautiful the way that came out. So let me see. Do we have any more cards? Nope, that's it. Okay, you guys. So those are your messages. And like I said, if you're drawn to any other piles, go and look at them. But you don't have to. The Spirit, they're so funny. I'm like wrapping this up and they're like, you ain't nobody's bitch. Like, and they're saying that in a loving, fierce way, because they're saying, like, you know, just because somebody's calling you, you know, especially the narcissists, you guys know who I'm talking about. Those narcissists who are like, they want me to do it like this. Those narcissists that know what to say. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. You know I love you. You know you're the only one for me. But yet they show up when they feel like it. They, you know, and it's like they had me do it in this order because seriously, look at it. We've got, you know, the love call, the chaser, photograph, and coffin. And I feel like they're saying that ain't gonna lead you to anywhere but death, another death. Let it rest in peace. Because even when you have this ending, it's opening you up for a new beginning, whether that's on your own or with someone else or all of the above, right? I always say that it's so, I mean, sometimes you're meant to go from one relationship to the next, but I feel like that is very rare. I mean, that's like if like you and your person are just like, you know what, we love each other, we've both grown, we're awesome, now we can just, you know, move on, and you can move on to the next person. But I always feel like it's nice to have a break in between relationships to kind of regain, you know, clarity about who you are and where you're going and what you're doing, right? So that you're not constantly chasing and expelling energy that you don't need to expel, right? And you've got photographs, you don't have to keep them. You know, there's social media. You know, get off social media if it's not working for you. Also, you know, you can put your social media in like a where it's hidden, but it's, you know, but if you're an emotional cutter where you keep going back and looking at the pictures, you know, whether you're sober or not, right? It's like then you're living in the past. And how can you move forward? So let that die, because sometimes we got to let things die so that a brand new beginning can happen. And so you can get a brand new love call from the right person, the one that you're meant to be with, right? Okay, those are your messages. I love you so much. All of my information is in the description box below, and I'll see you at the next reading. Blessed be. Oh, bye. Welcome, pile number 5. All I can hear in my head was, and now I'm all alone again. Nowhere to go, no one to turn to. You know, without a love, without a friend, without a person to say hello to. I don't know if those are the exact lyrics, but it's On My Own from Les Miserables. And that's how this feels. Like, this feels like a very, you know, I'll put the link below for the song, because this is a really beautiful, intense energy that's coming through right now. But that's what it feels like, this very, like, alone love. And the golden mirror. The golden mirror. It wanted to be in the background because, look at as I bring it forward. Look at the words. Self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. So who is love bombing you? Who's the narcissist? Who's telling you that they're bringing you love? Now I'm hearing, How deep is your love? Is your love? How deep is your love? I really need your love. 'Cause we're living. Oh, look at the light went out. I barely moved that candle and the light went out. Yeah, whoever this is, this gaslighter, who's ever doing this to you guys, I am so sorry because now this isn't going to be for everybody. There's going to be different messages here. I'm going to bring in the light a little bit because that's spirit saying, yeah, because we're living in a world of fools bringing us down when we all should let it be. You belong to you and me, right? That Bee Gees song, right? Because, oh, look at that. Oh, now the light's coming in here blue. Do you see how it's shining blue? The Arcturians have been coming through almost every single pile. And if you're drawn to any other piles, I highly recommend you go and watch them as well. Because this whole reading is about, you've got the love healing earth. But you cannot do your job here on earth if you are surrounding yourself with narcissists. People who are self-absorbed, one-sided relationships, and love bombing. And I think that those are almost like separate people that are in this pile, but at the same time, it's all encompassing, right? Because most likely, whoever you're dealing with is self-absorbed. They're a narcissist. The relationship is always one-sided on their side, right? Ooh, look at that. There's the male person. Thank you, male person. We appreciate you. But look at the male. It comes and goes. I feel like that's like whoever this person is that you're dealing with. Like maybe you see them once a day, but they come and go whenever they feel like it. I feel like you are basing your life on this person. And I am not getting a clear whether it's, let's put it this way. I feel love relationship, I feel work relationship, and I feel family relationship. So, insert your story here. So this person, now, it's an energy, but I feel like this disruptive, like with the male just now, right? Like, I feel like I live on a dead end road, so I have to turn around. But I feel like this disruptive energy is like, that's why you're not moving forward and why you don't have the love for yourself and why you're struggling in all of your relationships is because you've allowed this person to come into your world and put, to cover you up. But yet they're like, but look at, I love you, I love you, I love you. Now, if you notice that we had the mirror was for one of the piles, okay? So if you were drawn to that pile, you might want to go watch that as well. But I feel like in this respect, what they're trying to say, okay, Spirit, what they're trying to say is the golden mirror is like, this is the grand dame of narcissists. Like whoever you're dealing with, like, because we talked about mirrors in a different respect on the other pile. Like, let's put it this way. I had a blanket, slippers. I'm like getting hot right now. So it could be a fire sign. It could be somebody who, but yeah, I'm getting this gaslighting vibe. Also, they give you just enough. They give you just enough to keep you around. Just enough. Or they, oh gosh, I feel like I want to pull another card. Because I'm not trying to be mean, but I don't like this person. And I love them because they are serving a purpose in your life. And I love them because they're doing their thing. I'm turning the heat down because all of a sudden I'm like, goodness gracious, it's so hot in here. But this is somebody, it feels like a fire sign. So we're talking Aries, Leo, Sag, and it could be that they're a different sign, but they're, they're other signs, like their sun, moon, and their rising could also be a fire sign. And especially if the fire sign's in their moon or their sun, that can go in a lot of different directions, especially if the fire sign's in their sun, right? Like Leo or something, and they're just like always trying to take up your light. They always want to be in the spotlight, putting you in the background, Again, this is friend, family, lover, it doesn't matter. Could even be your kids, but I heard playing you. Like, I feel like whoever this person is, they're playing you and they know it and they've got you in the palm of their hand. And this is tough to hear. I love you so much and you deserve better. It's making me angry, and spirits tell me to calm down because, I can't get angry about it, even though, but where the anger's coming from, my own mirror experience, because people have done this to me too. And I know what it feels like. I know what it's like. I cannot tell you how many narcissists in my life not only told me I was a narcissist, which I had realized I had become, but it was more of like in a protective manner because I was literally surrounded and raised by so many narcissistic people. And I started to realize, like, and one of the situations was this person was angry at me that I wasn't going to be there for their child, and that I was going to let their child down because I told them I was going to be there, even though I just went through something really traumatic and my own personal, something personally happened to me. And I was like, I'm so sorry, I can't be there. Please, I'll tell them, I'll call them, blah, blah, blah. And they just were like, you're so full of yourself. It's all about you. And I was just like, yeah, it is about me. I'm like, I'm not in a good shape to be around a child right now. This is not good. I need to go. I had devastating news. I was going through a devastating thing in my life. And not once were they like, get over it. They were more like, oh, please, like, there's always drama, whatever, with you. And I was just like, holy shit. And then I realized that my whole life I was just surrounded by this, and people told me I was the drama, but then I realized it's because so many of my friends and family were drama. And then they would pull me into their dramas, and because I loved them and my heart and my love for them, was always before them, put them before me. It's like, it's somehow still, it's like I couldn't win. I was still the self-absorbed one. I was the narcissist. And then I had to go through a lot of therapy and work with a lot of shamans and work through my own stuff to finally put the light on the situation, right? To realize that it wasn't about me, right? So, sometimes people are so good and you believe it because, I'm bringing this as rose quartz, this bowl. I want to bring some love into the situation, right? And you believe it. Especially if you already don't feel super good about yourself. If you don't feel really good about yourself and then you have somebody telling you that you're a horrible person, it's a lot easier to believe. So I love you fiercely, and Spirit's saying, let go of these people. They are bringing you down. They are stopping you from your path. And this card, I had already pulled it, but they wanted me to, the runner. Ooh, that's powerful. Okay. So the runner says, let me get here so I don't burn it, because I burned another card in another reading. Okay, so runner in a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy and listening to ego. So for some of you, if you are dealing with this person, you've got somebody who is a runner. And if they're not dealing with their shit and they're running away all the time, any fear in any relationship is not going to be good, right? But fear of intimacy, people think that intimacy is sex, and it's like, no, intimacy is allowing someone to see you, all of you, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and loving you anyway. If you chose this person, you're a beautiful, loving person. Most likely, they're a really great person. Unfortunately, they chose, I feel like this wants to move over. They want you to, because they want you to see love, because you are love, and they want you to see that word. It's important for you to keep seeing that word right now. And to get it into your mind that you are beautiful and that you are love. And that whatever these people have been telling you is nonsense. It's their own bullshit. They're the runner. They're the one that's running away from you, running away from themselves, running away from their problems, running. And if you're identifying with this, then good on you for admitting that you're the one that has the fear of intimacy, which is why you keep going for these narcissists, right? Because you've been hurt before. Most likely when I looked down, it was 128. That's interesting. My father was born and died on the 28th and was one of the most rampant narcissists I had ever met. But the interesting thing was, I didn't until my father died and I worked with him in the afterlife did I get to understand, really truly get to the depths of narcissism and where it comes from and where it stems from. And most people who are narcissistic, it comes from that they weren't included, or they weren't listened to, or they didn't, so over time we can form into a level of narcissism where we're just really looking out for ourselves, and we're looking out for number one because nobody ever listened to us. Nobody ever acknowledged our gifts or who we were. And especially if you found yourself in this pile, you're really powerful. You're a significant healer. You are here to love bomb people, in a good way, right? Like this says love bombing, but you're here to love bomb people in a good way, right? We're like, we talked about this, you know, one of the other things where we said about, you know, where you walk down the street and you're like, you see somebody having a shitty day. And so you just know everything in your power says, I'm going to say something nice to them. And you're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Oh, what a beautiful jacket you're wearing. Or, you know, hey, or just looking at them and instantly finding one thing that you could say, oh, you have such lovely eyes. What a lovely smile you have. And saying it with the most pure love in your heart, not sexual, not, you know, just like in this beautiful, it doesn't have to be, you know, it could be, you know, towards a grandmother. You know, we all have bad days, right? Everybody has a bad day. So be the golden mirror for somebody. Be that beautiful, loving mirror with the heart where when they look at you, all they see is love. And it's hard for you to be that being, even though that's who you are. That's what, you know, Spirit brought you here to be. It's hard for you to be that being when you're allowing somebody else, when you're putting somebody else's needs above your own. So they had me pause for a second. Oh, I've been getting a lot of 13s, by the way. When I was down, it was 1 hour and 30 minutes. So, you know, so definitely 13. You might want to look that up. And also check out it's in the description below. If you haven't seen the first quarter moon pick a pile yet, please seriously check it out. It was so good. It's about what am I willing to change? And I feel like this bonus reading, this love reading on relationships with ourselves and others, it really aligns with so much that's happening on the planet at present. But see how they had me move the word love just to put it above the golden mirror and above the runner, because it's love above all else. Above all else. Be the runner to love. Run towards intimacy. And intimacy is vulnerability. Be open to being vulnerable and saying, I don't know everything, but I do know that I am a loving light being. I know that it is my divine right to be here. And once you stop, you know, listening to your ego, because at the bottom of the runner, it says listening to ego. We all need ego. It's healthy. We need some ego to survive, but we need to come from the loving heart of our ego, you know, not from the me, put me first, you know, right? So also see how this is a runner in a codependent relationship and they're running towards the narcissist. They're saying, that's okay though, because in these relationships, you're going to learn more about yourself. But the number one thing that Spirit wants you to take out of this reading is you cannot change anyone. The only one on this planet that you can change is yourself. All you can do is live by example, and either the people around you will change or they won't. And slowly but surely, you run towards love. And you put that narcissism and you put that one-sided relationship, you put that behind you. And you run towards love. Look at how the runner is now running towards love. Running towards love. And it may feel like you're in the dark for a minute, right? And you're alone, but you're never alone. There's no fear. Fear is connected to the ego. And ego is edging God/goddess out. That's a beautiful, I got that from Deepak Chopra years ago, and it's so true. So let's see if you guys, I don't think you guys have any more messages. Hold on. Okay, I found the deck. Let's see if do we have any more messages for pile number 4? By the way, I also feel like pile 4, if it does end up going to other videos like this, thank you from one of our fellow tribe members for pointing out. I always say, I'm not really sure why, but they pointed it out in such a beautiful manner. And it's like, you know, sometimes it's about doing that I don't want to put words in their mouth, but basically like, you know, it is about doing that extra work, and maybe there's an extra message for you. Maybe our last piles will be like the extended piles. I don't know how it's going to work out, but oh, look at this paradise. Oh my gosh, I love it. It says paradise. Hold on. Let me get up here. Happiness, expansion, and joy. I feel like this wants to come a little bit closer. Happiness, expansion, and joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. Yes. So wouldn't it be, they're saying like, wouldn't it be a more wonderful relationship, right? If it were like that. And they're saying it exists. Love exists. Paradise exists. It's all in the way you look at things. Look at this beautiful, this is my grandmother's, it's vintage crystal. Everything exists. Your paradise is just waiting for you. It's out there waiting for you. But how can you find it if you're stuck with somebody who doesn't love you, doesn't love themselves? And Spirit's saying, you know, not that they don't love you, because that was me talking too quickly. It's not they don't love you. It's like, but you know, it's like the old RuPaul adage, right? If you don't love yourself, how the hell are you going to love somebody else? And that, my dears, is the honest to God truth. Your paradise, your happiness, your expansion, your joy, your playfulness, your oneness resides in yourself. Then and only then will you be able to enjoy your life with someone else. When you truly love yourself enough to say, I'm not going to take that. I'm not going to let you treat me like this. I deserve better. I deserve more. Once you start saying that to yourself and genuinely meaning it, that's when everything changes. All right, you guys, I hope these messages helped you in any way. I love you so much. Spirit loves you. If you'd like to contribute to this channel or book a reading with me, my email is themagicalmedium@gmail.com, and all of my information is in the description box below, and it's also in the About section on the bottom. You can follow links. There's lots of ways to contribute, and if you'd like to book a session with me, I do $55 for half an hour and $100 for an hour. And usually if you book an hour, I always give you extra time. So it's always worth the $100. So, all right, there you go. I love you so much. Until next time, be really good to yourself and others. I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh.